All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Sinead. Testing, testing. Hey, Sinead. Sinead. Hello, hello. Okay. Okay. All right, great. Thank you. Hello. All right. Now listen, I want to tell you something. This looks like a family reunion, a celebration, a party. That's all right. I can get with that. I don't think this room has been filled with so much joy in about 12 years. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. Y'all can just camp out here overnight, and we can just do this all year long. Can we do that? Beatriz and Melanie, you all just listen to my colleagues. We definitely made the right decision, because this is just beautiful. I feel good. Liz, you feel good? Where's Mary? Mary, I know you still feel. Oh, she's talking about. Jose, you feeling good? I know he's feeling good because he's retired, right? But listen, this is a celebration of the First Order. I could not have imagined or dreamed that we would have this room filled on a Friday night when the weather is decent in Rochester. Fish fries waiting, families waiting at home, but you all are here to celebrate probably the most significant thing a Board of Education will do, which is to pick and then swear in colleagues. I want to be very careful about what I say now. There are so many people in this room that I know and my colleagues and former colleagues know that I'm not going to call out names, but it really speaks well of this notion that there is 1 degree of separation or 2 degrees of separation in Rochester. You really can know your cousin, your friends, your schoolmates, and your colleagues, and it's a beautiful thing. And again, let me just reaffirm and pat the Board of Education on the back for doing a good job at picking some great people. I want you all to just do this. Just do me a favor. Stand up and turn around and look at all the beautiful people here today. It's just, Beatriz and Melanie, you've done a wonderful job. It's just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So without further ado, I'm going to just tell you how this is going to operate. We're going to do this the family way, which means there's going to be lots of pictures. So if you're trying to get out of here, then you just might as well forget it, because we're going to give people the time to really enjoy this moment, because this is a family moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call up alphabetically. So Melanie, it will be you first. Where'd you go, Melanie? I know you're here. Oh, there you are. And Melanie's going to come up. And then she's going to bring up the person who's going to swear her in. You got somebody going to swear you in, right? Yeah. And then Steve Carling, who is one of our lawyers, where he's there, Steve right there, he's got to actually, after the person gets sworn in, he's got to have the member of the Board of Education sign this oath card, and that will be on file with the state of New York. And then after he does that, then the family part starts. I want Melanie or Beatriz, if you want to, you come over here, buy your nice little plaque. I'll be Van White, right? Come over here, buy your plaque. Have your family and friends here. Take as many, because we in no hurry tonight. There's no 3-minute law. Just going to put you down. You can take as many pictures as you want, and then Beatriz and her family and friends will do the same thing. So let's give a round of applause to our newest board member, Melanie Funchess. Come on up, Melanie. Woo! Standing ovation. All right.
Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of New York.
And the Constitution of the State of New York.
And that I will faithfully discharge the duties.
And I will faithfully discharge the duties.
Of the Office of Commissioner of Education.
Of the Office of Commissioner of Education.
Of the Rochester City School District.
Of the Rochester City School District.
According to the best of my ability.
According to the best of my abilities.
All right, now the party has just begun, getting started. Beatriz, where are you? Woo! All right, come on now, family, come on, keep coming, keep coming.
So quick intro, this is my middle child, Gina. This is my youngest child, Sophia, and that's my oldest child, Naisha, and this is my fiance, Marcus, and he will be reading my oath.
Testing. All right, you ready? Okay. I, Beatriz LeBron, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State
of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of the Commissioner of Education of the Rochester City School District,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Commissioner of Education of the Rochester City School District
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
That's it.
Official and legal. So can we coordinate a group pic? So what I'm gonna do is ask everybody to just come up front, like everyone, so we can just take one giant group pic. Thanks.
Dang, why you just bring up the whole room? Wow. Now, before you all leave, I ask that you just take your seats for just a few more minutes, a few more seconds. Just take your seats. What's up, man? I saw you sitting back there. When's the last time? Y'all was supposed to go there. Hey, listen, just take your seats for a few more minutes. We got to do one other thing. Just one other thing. Now, I know that our newest members of the Board of Education are going to have plenty of opportunities to be heard by you all in the next year. It's an important year for our district. But if y'all would just sit down just for 1 second, because I need you to just pay attention, not to me, but I want to make sure, because, you know, over the course of doing our thing up there, noise kind of gets very loud. Even when we step out this building, sometimes people don't hear what we have to say. They sometimes miss what we have to say. I would like to give our two new leaders an opportunity, and they didn't even know I was going to ask them to do this, to share a few words with you all. And as they do that, I want you all, and as they contemplate in the time that I'm thinking about what I'm trying to say, I want them to think about what they will say. And I want them to remember that the few words that you will share in the next few moments are probably going to be some of the fewest words that people will listen to. Because when you sit up there, people rightly are thinking about their children, right? And they're thinking about their frustrations and the years of neglect and frustration. But today, as I said earlier on, is a moment of celebration. And you should be listening to their words. And you should remember their words, because you're going to forget where their heart is up here. So this is not just a moment for them, it's a moment for you all. Because we've been there. And you don't know where my heart is. And I understand why you've forgotten it. I do. I appreciate that. I respect that. But I want you to give these people, these new leaders, these continuing leaders, an opportunity for you to remember where their heart is. That's going to be important for you. And it's going to be important for them. So we'll switch it around. Beatriz, why don't you come on up?
Thank you, Van. Bienvenidos a todos, so welcome everyone. Oh my God, Van, you totally put us on the spot. So let me just first say thank you to everyone for coming out on a Friday. And he's right, on a rare, beautiful day. It's like 43, 50. We actually could be grilling some food at this time. But you guys chose to come here and support Melanie and myself. And it just means the world to us. So I have to tell you, many people really do not know my journey in Rochester, and so I won't go into the entire thing. But what I will say is when I moved to Rochester, I was an undereducated 19-year-old delinquent who was a mom to a child. Naisha was my first, and we moved here on the Amtrak with 2 garbage bags and a mattress to call home. And many people don't understand. I think they meet me and I'm already where I'm at in life, and they just think I just popped up and that I sometimes may be arrogant, but I have worked day in and day out to, one, become educated. You know, I did not ride or have a car in Rochester for 13 years. And so I would work overnights at ABW, which is now Willow, working with families in domestic violence and children, heartbreaking stories, and then I would walk home 2-3 miles, pick up my children, walk them to school, walk back to catch the bus, go take 2 to 3 buses to get to Fisher. And if I missed that bus, like boo-hoo crying, calling anybody and everyone I can think of, because I could not be late to pick up the kids. And sometimes just sleeping 3 or 4 hours before I had to go back into that overnight shift. And so that was my struggle and my journey, and I did that for a long time. And so out of all of that struggle, what is left for me is a deep, deep empathy for families who are struggling in poverty and struggling to overcome obstacles. And there was a point in my life where I felt absolutely hopeless, and I just really did not think that it would ever change for me, that I could never, ever get out of poverty, that I could never escape it, that my children would not have the future that they have. And I have been so blessed to, just by the grace of God, but also by Him placing supportive people in my path who at times just supported me temporarily for 3 months and pushed me, and some that stayed along the journey along the way. One of those people, and I will end with this because I'm going to start crying if I get too deep into it, but one of those people was my sister, Anne-Marie. And my sister is the reason I moved here. I didn't have any opportunities in New York City, and she said, you know, I just finished Brockport, I'm moving to Rochester, I'm not coming back home. You know, I think you'll have some opportunities here that you may not have in New York City. And that's what made me take that leap of faith to come to Rochester in the first place. 6 years ago, my sister died suddenly and unexpectedly, and I had just given birth to Sophia. I had already got custody of Gina. And so when I talk about my children, I talk about my daughter that I birthed, but I treat Gina as she's mine. I birthed that child even though I did not birth her. But I treat her just the same. And I could not understand how God could take a life from me that was so deep root into me, but then give me life at the same time, literally 3 months apart. And I can tell you guys that if it was not for having Sophia, I probably would not have made that year, because I just kept focusing how I need to stay focused for this child, that this child deserves every opportunity for happiness and every opportunity to be healthy. And she got me through that first year, and you know, you take things one day at a time. And so my goal and my hope is to inspire families and parents in this district to understand that no matter what obstacles that they're overcoming, no matter what obstacles they feel that their children may be facing, that they have support not only from a school board, from an entire community, and that we together can get them through it. So I thank you guys again from the bottom of my heart. for coming out tonight. Gracias. Thank you.
Two exceptional public servants, and they were servants long before they got sworn in, but our next exceptional public servant is Melanie Funchess. Come on up, Bill.
Permission from the elders to speak. I first want, so people who don't know, I ask for permission from my elders to speak because I give honor to my elders and to my ancestors. And in this moment, I want to give honor to my mom. I'll speak her name, my mother, Yvonne Smith. Over 35 years ago, I came up here by myself alone, and a woman looked at me and said, God said, I'm to be your mother and you are to be my child. I had nobody. I had nothing. I'm another New York City kid like BB. And not only did that woman adopt me, but a whole community of people adopted me. 595 Frost Avenue adopted me. Lewis Street, Baden Street. People sold dinner so I could go to school. I went and the reason, and I'm standing here and I'm crying because y'all think this is a game. I owe a debt. And Sister Gloria, I told you, when you looked at me when I was a parent, just a young parent at Head Start, and every time you saw me, you said, be true. And I remember I just shared a story with her about how I had been elected policy council chair. And folk was mad. They were big mad because I have this thing where people say, Melanie, can you do this? We need you to do this work. And I'm like, okay. And I don't think about the politics. I don't think about, that there's some kind of other thing. I think about how am I going to help some kids? I'm going to help some families because this community gave everything for me. I am who I am because of Rochester, New York. And she said to me, baby, you just don't worry about it. You just do what you do and follow what is on your heart. You live that right thing. And there's been people that have been here, and I want to call their names. It's Mother Witcher. I'm sorry, y'all. Look, I'm a Christian. Okay, all right. Woo, hallelujah. I'm sorry, y'all. I got to do my thing. Thelma Cartledge, Mother Witcher. Mother Smith, Charles Smith, Ormy Ogden. I call the ancestors and I thank you for them. I want y'all to understand and be clear. I'm not here for any political gain. I'm not here to get any big ups, come ups, glow ups. I'm here to rock out and go hard body for our kids. Because some folks who didn't know me from a can of paint, I was a 16-year-old drug smoking, yeah, I'ma tell it, drug smoking, gang wielding, knife carrying, thugette, okay, from New York, who didn't know what love was, thought that there was nobody here for me. And they looked past all of that. They looked past my tough talk. They looked past me cutting side. They looked past my cussing. They looked past all of that and saw a girl who deserved a chance to not be a knucklehead. And they gave it to me. No matter what kind of crap I spewed back, they gave me love in return. So with my dying breath, and there may be times you see me up here, you don't understand, ask me. And I just ask you, like I've asked everybody who said anything to me since I decided to do this, 3 things. Pray for me. Support me when it's good, when I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. But when you don't think it is right, hold me accountable. Thank you.
Go home now. Good night, everybody. Have a great weekend. Thank you for coming out.